Welcome! I'm the Kaiju no Kami, and today I'm going to be reviewing Sailor Moon Crystal Season 2. At the end of the first season, Sailor Moon had saved the world from the evil of the Dark Kingdom and peace was beginning to return to Earth. Or at least, so it seemed. In the final scene of the season, a strange girl with pink hair, whom will become known as Chibiusa, fell from the sky and pointed a gun at Usagi. Thus, the second season continues directly from there.
If you are who you say you are, then you should have the legendary silver crystal. Hurry up and hand it over! Now, or I'll shoot!
If you watched my review for the first season, you may remember that I said the show was enjoyable despite it being a massive rush job with horrible animation and a lot of flaws. How does Season 2 fare? Is it better? Does it make any notable improvements? Let's watch to find out. The heroes. Like Sailor Moon R in the old anime, we get a couple of new heroes here. The biggest new character being the aforementioned 900-year-old Chibiusa. Chibiusa is originally from the 30th century and came to the past to get Sailor Moon to help her save her family and friends from a group of beings who just randomly attacked the Earth one day. Unfortunately, right at the start, things go awry and Chibiusa gets blamed for these events, leaving her feeling alone and unwanted even in the past.
Have you been spying on us this whole time? You know something about this, don't you? Was this your plan? Are you with those kidnappers?
It doesn't help that her doubts also keep her from telling everyone what is going on right from the get-go, which leads to Mars, Mercury, and Jupiter getting captured, rendering them out of action for most of the season. There's not really much to talk about due to the short length of the show, but unlike with R, we do get to see her transformation into a Sailor Guardian this season.
I am Sailor Chibi Moon! And now in the name of the future moon, I'll punish you!
The next new character is Sailor Pluto. Pluto is the guardian of time and is not allowed to leave her post under any circumstances. She ends up becoming friends with Chibiusa when Chibiusa stumbled upon her domain one day. There's also a hint that she has feelings for King Endymion.
Please do whatever you can to aid Sailor Venus and Tuxedo Mask. I'm counting on you, Pluto.
Yes, of course, my king. I will.
Unlike the Pluto in R, though, this one does actually participate in the final battle against the Black Moon Clan.
Time! I command thee! Stop!
One thing I like about Crystal's iteration of Pluto as far as character designs is concerned is the belt of keys that are around her waist. Although her dead scream attack just isn't as cool as it is in the classic anime series.
Dead scream!
Finally, the last new character is the daughter of Luna and Artemis, Diana.
What?
Your daughter?
Yes.
Diana is just a kitten who's also the closest thing Chibiusa ever had as a friend until she befriended Pluto. Once you get past those three, everyone else is the same. We do learn that Usagi gets easily jealous of Chibiusa's creepy feelings towards Mamoru despite her being a child.
So what if she's little? That doesn't matter in love. She's still another woman!
Oh, Japan. She gets a new weapon. Aside from that, there's not much new to say about her, nor about Mamoru. Well, actually, Mamoru does get a new power, which is cool.
Tuxedo La Smoking Bomber!
That's a nice addition that was sorely missing from the original anime. For our 4 supporting Sailor Guardians, there's not much to talk about since, as I already mentioned, Mars, Mercury, and Jupiter get kidnapped for half of the show. In fact, Mars is kidnapped right in the first episode.
Heading back to base right now.
Where are you taking her?
Mercury in the second.
Mercury!
and Jupiter in the third.
Too bad no more pets, but she left me such a lovely present.
So they get the shaft when it comes to development. In the brief moments we do have them, we do learn that Rei has picked up some of Usagi's tactless habits.
What a bunch of dorks.
Huh? Did you say something?
Huh? No, nothing. How could I say that? I guess Usagi's starting to rub off on me.
Ami's parents are divorced.
What does your father do for a living, Ami?
He's a Japanese-style artist.
You mean like a painter?
How cool!
I don't see him much. He and my mom are divorced.
And Makoto's parents are dead.
Are those your parents?
Yeah. That's an old picture. They died in a plane crash. It's not something I talk about.
I would say this allows Minako to receive the character development she lacked in the first season due to her late arrival. But that would be lying since not much is even done with her. What's even worse is when our trio do return to the show, this is how their first, and technically final, battle transpires.
I can't move.
Try and stop me!
The darkness is draining our energy.
Sailor Moon.
I had already talked about Sailor Moon's voice actress in my previous Crystal review, along with the English side of things for the rest of the cast in my R review, but the Japanese cast is different from the original show for everyone else. Now voicing Mars, Mercury, Jupiter, Venus, Chibi Usa, Pluto, Luna, Artemis, and Mamoru are Rina Sato, Hisaka Kanemoto, Ami Koshimizu, Shizuka Ito, Masato Fukuen, Ryo Hirohashi, Yohei Obayashi, and Kenji Nojima. Usagi's friends and families briefly show up in this arc. Naru and Umino only show up twice and they don't do much of anything. Naru kind of hints at knowing Usagi's secret identity, though nothing ever comes out of this since she isn't seen again.
I've suspected for a while that you've been leading a double life. I know there are things you have to keep hidden and a side of you I can't be a part of, but still you're my friend and I wish there was something I could do to help.
There are a couple of other friends that appear, one of which is a boy that idolizes Mamoru and has a crush on Makoto, and a girl that invited Rei to join a club in her school. That's pretty much it. None of them matter as they are hardly around to learn anything about them.
This sucks. Change it.
The villains. Due to this series strictly following the manga, the Makai tree does not exist in this universe. Then again, the Black Moon clan doesn't even feel like they truly exist in this universe either. If you have watched Sailor Moon R, or at least my review, you will recall that I talked about how the show followed the usual Monster of the Week formula while developing all of its villains in the process. Here, the villains are essentially the Monsters of the Week, and therefore, other than Demand and Wise Man, receive no development whatsoever. The four Spectre sisters, Koan, Berthier, Pets, and Calaveras, appear each in one episode and die at the end of that episode. They do have an army of generic-looking foot soldiers called droids with them, though they are so forgettable and easily beaten you wonder why they even bother. They're as pointless as the Spectre sisters and as Esmeralda, who lasts just a tad longer than them. On the plus side, it means Esmeralda doesn't have time to tear our eardrums apart with her vicious shrieks. However, that was an intriguing character trait of hers in R.
That's terribly insensitive of me.
Regardless, they're all gone before the halfway point of the show, rendering my dwelling on it moot. Rubius doesn't fare much better either, as he is dispatched pretty recklessly too. His job is to appear when a Guardian has been captured by a Spectre Sisters' dying attack and take them away to the future. Hi, bye! The same goes for Sapphire, though we do learn he is the engineer of the clan and brother to the clan's leader, Prince Demand.
Everything you wanted is already yours. The planet is dead. Why are we continuing to spend time on this?
He also doesn't trust wise men. A wise decision that is rendered irrelevant due to how the events of this show play out. Another difference between the two series is the motivations behind the Black Moon Clan. In R, Demand's goal was to get revenge on the Earth for banishing their ancestors to the planet Nemesis.
Our ancestors resented having to leave the fine planet of Earth and being forced to live here on Nemesis. And I, for one, have not forgotten our plan to rewrite Earth's history so that we may reap our revenge.
In this show, the Black Moon Clan wants to destroy the Earth just because it makes them feel good. So they're basically just a bunch of hipster emos.
Eternal youth and everlasting peace are fantasies. Immortality is against nature. That which is born is meant to die.
That's it? That's your whole motivation to destroy Crystal Tokyo and take over the Earth in the past?
You there! Calm down!
Also, unlike with R, the man doesn't have any great lines of dialogue, and he also kisses a young girl. Thankfully, we get a bit more development for Wiseman and the Death Phantom this time around, as shocking as that sounds. His goal is to get revenge on the Earth for banishing him to Nemesis, despite him being a mass murderer who also tried to start a war on the planet.
That dark world seems to be involved with quite a few unfortunate events.
The show will wreck your evening, your whole life, and your day. Every single episode is nothing but dismay, so look away, look away, look away.
There's also Black Lady, who is about the same as she was in R, minus the 500% raise in creep factor.
Look away, look away, look away, look away.
I have him. As long as he loves me, that's all I need.
Dude, that's your... Never mind.
I told you not to watch it.
The animation and music. As Crystal's second season aired back to back with the first, the animation and music is pretty much the same as it was in the first season. Meaning the animation is still crap. I am putting way too much energy into this show. I need to just stop and relax. What was pretty lifeless in the first season remains lifeless here, though there are at least a couple of funny moments of animation.
No, what gives? Why does everyone keep leaving me behind? It's driving me crazy!
Hi, Ami! Hi, Naru. Usagi was feeling a little down, so I thought we'd swim. I didn't know you belonged.
The reveal of Chibiusa being the daughter to Usagi and Mamoru isn't as lively as it was in R either, but I'll take what we got over the doll animation from the previous season.
What? Chibiusa's really my daughter? So that means you and I... What? Chibiusa is my daughter? Momo and I are her parents? How... That means...
Battle scenes seem to be a tad toned down from the last time with a bit more usage of still animation.
Spirits of the Four Spectre Sisters! Energy attack!
The Guardians can also still fly at the drop of a dime because reasons.
I can do anything.
Garl, this is not. There's only a couple of new tracks in the music.
Until a new group of radicals showed up out of nowhere, demanding death to all the people of the Moon Kingdom. Like Phantom, they had dark crescent marks on their foreheads.
So I'm assuming these...
Otherwise, everything, including the opening and ending themes, is the same. I'm trying not to compare this to the original anime, but I really do miss those epic sounding final battles from that series because it felt like a final battle. Here, it just feels like, oh, okay, story's over. Speaking of which, the episodes. To say this show is boring would be an understatement. There's just no time to develop anything at all in the show. The first episode introduces Chibiusa, has her brainwash Usagi's family, introduces the Black Clan, has Rei do stuff with her school, has Koen attack the school, Mars confronts Koen dies, and Mars is captured, all within a 22-minute time span. That is just way too much for a single episode. This is something that could have easily been spread between 2 to 3 episodes. Have the first episode focus on Chibiusa and that someone from the future wants her. The second brings in Rei's plot with the school. The third has Koen's fight and death and Rei's capture. It's not rocket science, but apparently for this show, it is. This is how the formula continues until the cast goes into the future and the plot actually starts up in its second half. For being a 12-episode season, it feels like it is 40 hours long.
That's bad.
There's also a moment where we get introduced to a friend Chibiusa made at school.
Chibiusa brought a little friend home with her after school for a play date.
Did you know that Chibiusa was going to school?
Chibiusa's going to school! What? No. Did you know that? Chibiusa's going to school? No, I didn't know that. What about you?
Oh, and her friend is never seen or heard from again beyond this one single scene.
What was the point?
I can't say there is a single episode I truly liked, as every episode was bad, but like with the previous review, I will tell you my favorite scene. After Jupiter's abduction and witnessing Chibiusa freak out over seeing Pets' earring, Mamoru tries to figure out what is happening when he is visited by the spirits of the four kings. I like this bit as it shows that even after death, the kings are there to help their former master, and it brings in a nice connection to the previous arc despite being the one and only time this occurs.
We sense something ominous behind your enemy's grand scheme. Their plan is larger, more nefarious than we initially believed.
A strange distortion of time and space is emanating from that stone.
I wish there were more scenes like this, not just because of its connection to the first arc, also because it's one of the few moments downtime is presented here. Everything moves at such a quick pace that if you blink, you may have missed something important. This also causes an issue as it means all the show's plot points are dumped onto you at one time, leaving you overloaded with too much information. On the other hand, I do like how the final battle takes place in the future setting instead of the past, though that does diminish its threat level since everyone in the future is practically dead by this point. I hated this arc in the manga. I thought it was an utter mess there. Toei didn't even bother to do anything to fix that for this season. They just kept the exact same mess it was in the manga and put it as a mess here. What the hell? At least with the first season, they tried to put in some ideas that never occurred in the first season that Naoko thought of later. As such, I have no choice but to give Sailor Moon Crystal Season 2 a pathetic 1 out of 5 grown-ups in spandex. The pacing is atrocious, the characters are nothing more than plot devices and have no development whatsoever, the villains and their motivations are absolutely pitiful, and worst of all, the animation is quite subpar. The only way I would recommend you watching this is if you have seen the first season and you really want to see the much superior season 3 that massively fixed everything. All others, do not waste your time on this bore fest. Until next time, bye.